Today I'm going to do a comparison between the Alienware 18 and the Asus G751JL Gaming laptops. Now first I'm going to start with the Alienware 18. The Alienware 18 is running an Intel Core i7-4910MQ processor with 32 gigs of RAM, while also using dual NVIDIA GeForce GTX 880 graphics cards, which is 8 gigs dedicated graphics. Next is the Asus G751JL Gaming laptop. It's running an Intel Core i7-4720HQ processor with 16 gigs of RAM with 2 gigs dedicated GeForce GTX 960M graphics. Now, one of the main things I wanted to compare between both of these laptops is the price. Now, the Alienware 18 is $3,000. That's a heck of a lot of money for a laptop. And then the Asus G751JL Gaming laptop is $1,500. Now, when you look at the specs wise, the Alienware 18 has a lot of perks to it. It has dual 880 graphics cards and it has HDMI in, which is a very unique feature for being able to plug in other devices and use your Alienware screen as the screen for the gaming console or whatever else you're going to use it for, which is a very cool feature. But when you compare size, the Alienware 18 is huge. I mean, the Asus is a 17-inch laptop, but compared to the Alienware 18, it makes it look tiny. The Alienware 18 is just thick. It's a big laptop. You wouldn't want to be carrying that around a lot with you, but it basically is a desktop replacement as in power. One of the tests that I ran between the Alienware 18 and the Asus was how long it would take for each computer to start up. Now, it was a fun comparison, but kind of unfair because the Asus had SSDs in it and the Alienware had hard drives, so it wasn't completely fair, but it was fun to test. But the Asus booted up in about 15 seconds, and then the Alienware took much longer to finally get there. But this startup test was only to the login screen, so it wasn't fully done, but it was a fun test just to run, just to see how both compared, as in the difference between solid state drives and hard drives. The next test that I did was a graphics comparison between both computers. I wanted to see which computer could push out more frames per second with the game almost maxed out. Now, the game I used was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and I tested it first on the Alienware 18, and I maxed out most of the settings. I kept a few lower just for fun, but I maxed it out basically, and the Alienware 18 was getting around 45-50 frames per second, which was a given, expecting as a $3,000 laptop it should be able to perform really well playing a fairly recent AAA title game. And then next I tested out the Asus G751JL gaming computer, and I ran that at almost high settings. I changed a few settings though. I turned down environmental quality but also put physics to normal, and then started off on the same level as the Alienware 18, and the Asus was getting around 35-40 frames a second, which is lower than the Alienware 18, but definitely still playable, which is impressive for a $1,500 laptop running about the same settings as the Alienware 18. So graphically, they both perform very well. I also ran Star Wars Battlefront, which came out a few months ago, on both computers, and I ran them both at the same settings on Ultra on both computers, and both computers performed outrageously well. Even for a $1,500 laptop, it's getting about the same frames per second as the Alienware, which is insanely impressive for how graphically demanding Star Wars Battlefront is. So in conclusion, this was a fun comparison between the Alienware 18 and the Asus G751JL gaming laptops. They both are awesome. There is definitely a price difference, but they both perform very well considering the hardware that's inside of them. This video was also edited in 4K footage, which is very demanding to computers to be able to render and run. So this whole video was edited on the Asus. So that gives you an idea that you don't have to spend $3,000 on a computer to be able to edit 4K video. This was only $1,500, but still the Alienware will perform better in certain areas because of the more graphics that are in it. So in conclusion, both of these computers are insanely good for film and video editing and gaming. It really just depends on what you're going to use them for and what you're looking for. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it, leave a comment below if you have any questions or if you really liked it. Thank you.